Okay guys, welcome to Linear Patterns. It's pretty straightforward and it's not too hard. Today you will start drawing graphs and starting plotting linear patterns. But before you plot linear patterns, you have to know what they are. So heading in your book, linear patterns, red and underlined. And you need to be writing both the words on this slide and drawing the graph. So it says when you plot a set of points, sorry, it's meant to say points, not point. When you plot a set of points on a Cartesian plane and they form a straight line, this is known as a linear pattern. When this is so, the x and the y values are connected by the same rule. So these values here are our x values, these values here are our y values, which you should know if you've done the introduction to Cartesian planes. And when there's a linear pattern, so when they go in a straight line like these dots do, there is actually the x and the y values are connected by the same rule. So if you have a look here, for example, we have our points 1 when x is equal to 1, y is equal to 2, when x is equal to 2, y is equal to 3. They have the same relationship between their x and y values. If you look a little bit more closely, you'll see that in each case, that the y value is 1 more than the x. So when x is 1, y is 2. When x is 2, y is 3. When x is 3, y is 4. That's the relationship. So in each case, the y value is 1 more than the x value. So when these points that are plotted form a pattern, we have what's known as a graph. So our Cartesian plane has a graph on it. So the Cartesian plane we just looked at in the previous slide shows a linear graph because the pattern formed is a straight line. Coordinates that form a pattern are often written in a table. For example, the points -2, 4, -1, 2, 0, 0, 1, -2 could be written in a table like this. The relationship here is that while x is increasing by 1, y is decreasing by 2. X is increasing by 1, y is decreasing by 2. You can tell this when we move up with our x values and our y values. So when we have a linear pattern, there is a relationship between our x and our y value that can be written as a rule. Okay? One example of how to do this is by writing it in a table like we have here. Today you'll be looking at plotting graphs from tables and drawing up tables from plotted graphs. So for example, if we're asked here, guys, to plot the points in the table on the right in the Cartesian plane, first thing we do is we go and we have a look at the first x point. We go to that point on our x-axis and then we go to that point of the relevant point on the y-axis and we plot the point. So the first point we would have plotted if we were working from this table, if you look over here with the graph, I've already done it up for you. X is -4, y is -2. X is -3, y is -1. And we've just gone and we've plotted the points. Now they've formed a straight line here on our graph, as we can tell. Now that means it's a linear pattern. So we look at the y values, we plot each point, we see that they form a straight line. And then we work out the rule. The way that we work out the rule is we look at the relationship between the x and the y values and how they're in decreasing or increasing. So if we look at this one here, the pattern shows that the x values on this axis here, are increasing by 1. The y value also increases by 1. So if x starts off at -4, y starts off at -2, as x increases by 1, -3, -2, -1, so does the y value, -2, -1, 0, 1. And so if we were to say what was the next value being plotted, we would say x is 2, y is 4, and it would be that point just there. It's pretty straightforward, guys. So the pattern would be as x increases, sorry, Mr. Corsi can't write today, by 1, y increases by 1. And it's as simple as that, guys. Get on with the exercises now and you should be fine.